Hey, good morning, Metropolis. It's now 5 after the hour of 6 a.m. in the big monster city.
Come on! Let's get pumped!
I'm not drinking any fucking Merlot! What can I say? The camera loves me.
Shall we begin?
After you, Junior.
What's up? Or sorry, hang on. Let me try that again. Hey, Mike.
Yeah,
That's the one.
how you doing?
Welcome to episode number 54 of Logged It. We got a really fun one for you tonight. We got guilty movie pleasures. This was, one of those things. A lot of people signed up for this one. We are, like I've said on the show the last few weeks, we are going to do this again next month with a whole new panel. Boatman's going to host that one with a completely brand new group of people. But all three of you guys signed up, and then Nazario messaged me and was like, dude, come on. Like, you, me, Mike, Bill, like, that's good. That would be good. I was like, you know what? You're right. That'd be fun. Let's do it. So I think I've got some good picks. As you've seen the last couple weeks, I have interesting takes, I think, sometimes with movies that people don't even realize. And Cody even said last week, like, Tim's a fucking weirdo who gives Jurassic World Dominion 4 stars, but then likes Terrence Malick. So, like, I'm a fucking wild card, and I definitely have some, like, weird tastes. But the three of you, man alive, you guys live for some of this shit. So I'm very excited. We're going to have a really fun show tonight. And like I said, I've kind of already talked about who's all here. Mike, you're here. Welcome to the show. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. And you got your partner in crime here, Bill.
Yes.
Hey, how's it going?
I think that's his partner.
Oh, sorry. That's my bad. Nazario's here. How you doing?
I barely made it. Literally, I have like 5 minutes since I got home.
Well, you're here. That's all that matters. And Bill, welcome. I love the shirt. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. As soon as I heard this was the topic, I mean, come on. This is like my brand. So
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we are going to kick off the show the way that we do every week, which is going to be to first talk about our favorite movies that we logged this week. So this is going to be not necessarily the best movie, but our favorite. Our favorite from the week can be a new watch, first-time watch, or something we've seen many times before. So, Mike, why don't you kick us off with your favorite movie that you logged this week?
Yeah, so I decided to go with one that was a first-time watch. That's from this year. It's called Glorious. It is on Shudder right now. It's about a guy that goes into a public restroom and gets trapped in there with the dude that's behind the stall with the glory hole attached. And all kinds of fucking crazy shit happens.
Okay.
Which I don't want to give anything away, but it goes more and more insane as the movie progresses.
I think I can figure out something's going through the hole.
You would think so.
I mean, yeah. So
Okay. I have never heard of this film. Maggie happened to walk out of the room at the exact moment you started describing this movie. Probably for the best. So no, never heard of this. I probably won't watch that unless Mike is at my house and is like, let's watch Glorious. So yeah, but
I'm on my way.
Nazario, have you seen this?
I haven't watched it. I did scroll through it, in my torrent, looking for movies site, and I saw it was the poster is like a guy holding a leg with like a pink background, and I was like, this is interesting, and I downloaded it, but I haven't seen it.
Okay. And Bill, what about you?
I mean, this is why I have a Shudder subscription.
It's fair.
I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, let's go. Yeah, absolutely. Please put that on the poll. Please. I will Venmo you $5 to just put that on the poll
When we
watch.
when we get back to the 2020s, we'll see. Okay, so Bill, why don't we go to you next? What's your favorite movie along this week?
Not the best, right? Because the best I actually watched last night, but my absolute favorite, I rewatched Freddy vs. Jason, and this is a perfect version of what this movie needed to be. It is exactly right. I remember why I saw this 3 or 4 times in the theaters. This is exactly what I wanted from this film. It has no pretenses of like it's going to be. This isn't high art, but this is exactly right. And they got the tone perfect. I love Freddy. I love the attention to the lore of the series, and also I love that they paid homage to the Friday the 13th series by not giving a fuck about whatever happened in the films previous and making up whatever you wanted. Because you know how Jason's afraid of water now when he was swimming in all those other movies. But that's his thing. That's his weakness. It's who fucking cares? So, yeah, this movie's amazing. I love it.
I love this movie too. I think this movie is a fucking blast. I'm a psychopath, and when Maggie and I started dating, we watched Friday the 13th, and not even Friday. I don't even think we watched Friday the 13th first. We watched A Nightmare on Elm Street, and then I just showed her this, and I was like, "Yeah, you'll figure it out," because I love this movie, and it's so stupid. And honestly, it was one of those things where it's like, well, if she can watch this with me, then like, we'll be good. Like we'll be good. It's so much amazingly dumb. I love it so much because Freddy Krueger. Like, I think the Halloween series is probably my favorite when it comes to the horror icons, fandom people like Freddy, Michael, Jason. I like Michael Myers and that character a lot and that series a lot. But I love Freddy Krueger and the first Nightmare on Elm Street so much. And honestly, like, I really like most of the sequels. Like, I think Dream Master is super underrated and fucking so much fun. And so to see Robert Englund kind of give it one last go in this movie and just going up against the actual fight, like at the end, is awesome. It's so good. And I really like this movie a lot. Like, there's a couple things that haven't aged super well, but if you ignore those few moments the rest of the time, like, you're gonna have a blast if you can just shut your brain off and have so much fun. And I don't remember what we were talking about. Bucky, back off. I don't remember what we were talking about, but Bill brought up this movie and he was like, the fact that we don't have a sequel for this is just like,
it's the last time I was unlogged it. This is
was it? That's what it was? Okay.
Because that's what made me want to watch this. I was like, I haven't watched that again. I need to, so much new metal. So much.
Nazaria, what do you think of this movie?
Dark meat.
Yeah, that's the second worst thing said in that film.
I don't love this movie. I'm sorry. I'm a Freddy Krueger guy.
Me too.
But
Yep.
I don't, the way they like diss him in this movie, the disrespect. He gets one fucking kill during the whole movie. And in the end, he doesn't even like get a clean win, which he should, over Jason. I love Jason too, but there are so many small things that I don't like that don't let me enjoy the movie. I hate fake J Muse. That guy is just doing like an impersonation.
Okay, but it was all worth it for the have you ever seen the Never Sleep Again documentary?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, for them to get him to be in it, talking about making this, and then somebody having to tell him he wasn't in it.
And
so worth it.
I also don't like Ronnie Yu's style of horror directing with the new metal and the thing. He also did the same thing with Bride of Chucky with a lot of pop culture references. And I'm like, just keep it. You know, these movies, as cheesy and 80s as they are usually kind of like timeless. You can watch them and feel like, okay. But this one is like, yeah, that is so 90s. Well, this is 2000s, but still feels 90s. So... I don't know. Overall, I think I also hate that they recasted Kane Hodder. The disrespect. The guy did 4 movies in a row, and then like, we don't like you. We want a taller guy. But come on,
we got the Hatchet series out of that, so that's happy.
That's fair.
Fucking let's go.
That's fair.
Mike.
So yeah,
Freddy versus Jason.
Oh yeah, I really enjoy Freddy vs. Jason. The only thing, like Nazaro said, is Kane Hodder. Without Kane Hodder there. Kind of, yeah. hits it a little bit. But other than that, I have a blast with the fucking movie. The kills are fucking great. The back and forth with Freddy and Jason, with Freddy calling him an asshole, all that shit is fucking hilarious. Yeah. I
don't know why the one line that always cracks me up is those two fucking jockos in the cornfield getting like high and drunk. When the one guy's like, "This Everclear is kicking my ass." I don't know why. Every time I fucking crack up.
Awesome.
Oh my god.
All right. Nazario, let's go over to you. Your favorite movie you logged this week.
I think I have to be pretty basic and go with Bullet Train. That movie was really fun in a way I did not really expect. I saw the trailers and I was like, okay, they're gonna do this thing where they're gonna try to sell me an action movie from the director of John Wick, or one of the directors of John Wick, and it's gonna be cheesy and it's gonna be like haha, fourth wall breaking. But somehow it kind of works through all of that cynicism, and it actually works. I think it has to do a lot with the casting and the characters. Lemon and Tangerine are like one of my favorite movie couples of the decade. Those two characters are amazing, the way they interact. Nobody gives them enough credit. Aaron Taylor Johnson and I forgot the other guy's name. What's his name?
Ryan Tyree Henry.
Yes, the guy from Eternals. They are such naturals in these roles, and the way the movie develops. You know what it feels like? It feels kind of like a throwback to those early 2000 movies, action movies like The Way of the Gun, or Snatch, or Smoking Aces. Like that vibe, but actually, done well. Not all of those movies were good movies. This is good, and yes, the plot is like it wraps around itself and it breaks logistical sense, but it works because it's fun. It never feels dull. And when you think the movie is going somewhere, it just goes somewhere else, and then it just keeps you engaged. And I just had a lot of fucking fun with this movie. I honestly thought it was gonna be like, that's fine, but I actually really liked it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too. We talked about it either last week or the week before. I don't remember. Boatman brought it up as his favorite of the week, and I really liked it. I didn't. I thought I was gonna hate it based off the trailers and everything, but I had a good time. I don't think it's like the greatest action movie of the last 10 years or anything. Like, I know Boatman pulled one of the like, this action movies, like this is the best thing ever. Like, and if he really, really liked it, great. Like, awesome. For me, I thought it was good. Didn't think it was like incredible, but really,
I mean, all three John Wicks are better. So I don't know what he's talking about.
Agree. I would agree very much so, but very, very much an entertaining movie that I'm looking forward to rewatching for sure. Mike, did you get a chance to see this?
Have not seen it yet.
All right, what about you?
Let me get on that for you, Mike.
Now, I have not seen it yet, but now I want to watch Way the Gun because I haven't seen that in like years, and that's probably one of my top 5 car chases in the film.
Ryan Phillippe, who knew?
Yeah, no.
All right, good shit. I will go next, since I'm the only one that hasn't gone. I'm going a very, very strange pick. So my favorite TV show of all time is Everybody Loves Raymond, and I finally decided it was time because I've been rewatching the show for like the 87 millionth time. There's actually a documentary kind of about, not necessarily the show, but it's called Exporting Raymond. So the creator of the show, Phil Rosenthal, he directed the movie, and it's a documentary about him actually going to Russia in the late 2000s because Russia wants to adapt Everybody Loves Raymond into a Russian sitcom. And it's him basically working with Russian television people and like trying to make the show work. And I bought it and watched it because it's based on the show that I love and everything. And I kind of wanted to hear some behind the scenes stuff, but it's actually surprisingly interesting. Like, they get really into like what works for American television and why you can't do just like a direct translation of what we do for TV and sitcoms in the early 2000s and late 90s and stuff, and how that doesn't like translate directly to like Russian audiences, and like how, if you know the show at all, like Raymond is kind of like a lazy ass, and like how men in Russia at that time like don't want to see a character like a man portrayed that way in their shows, and it's like just super interesting on that front. And so I was kind of this was made for me. Like, this was something that like I knew I was going to enjoy and like, but I wound up really, really enjoying it and really, really liking it. So I think just, even if you don't like Everybody Loves Raymond, from just like a, if you're interested in television and how it gets made, and also just like other countries and what they have to go through and stuff, I think it's very interesting. So has anybody else seen this? Mike, have you seen this?
No, I have not seen it.
Rosario, what about you? You watch weird shit.
Not this weird, but I do have two things to say. One, the thing with the international audience is real, even as close as Latin America. Like, most of the shows get dubbed in Spanish here. Like, we got dubbed Friends, and we got dubbed Raymond, and we got dubbed Seinfeld, and it really loses a bunch in translation, because there's a bunch of jokes that are very, very American that just do not make sense in Spanish. So I kind of have some American sensibility because I watch a lot of movies and shit, so I can get some of the jokes. Like, but most people are like, that wasn't that funny. Also, the one thing it reminds me of, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this show called Episodes.
Yes.
Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, when they had to take this super successful British sitcom and they decided to make the American version of it. And apparently, to make the American version, they had to really dumb it down and change a bunch of shit and put hockey in there. So yeah, it sounds like it, and that's a great fucking show. If you haven't seen it, go watch Episodes. It's great.
Yeah, that show is fantastic. I think it's on Showtime. That's really good. Bill, what about you? You ever seen this?
I've never even heard of this. This sounds weird as hell.
Yeah. And it's only like 85 minutes, so it's a really quick watch too. Yeah. All right. Cool. And all right, so we're gonna move on to the next topic, which is it's our least favorite movie that we logged this week. Mike, let's kick it off with you. What is your least favorite movie you logged this week?
I had a couple options this time around, but I'm gonna go with They/Them, the new horror movie with Kevin Bacon.
This is the second time we're talking about this on this show.
That looked pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon is fucking great in it, but he's basically the only redeeming quality of the movie. It tries to be two different movies. It tries to be a campy slasher, and it tries to be a drama about the camp, but it doesn't really hit either one. The campy slasher doesn't show any of the kills on screen. The kills are very bland that they do actually show. And then the drama part, they don't really delve too much into it to really make you feel anything. So it's just kind of like blah the whole time you're watching it. Like, all I want is more Kevin Bacon on the screen, and then you flash to these other characters that you kind of don't give a shit about. Yeah, it's just very bland.
Yeah, we talked about this a couple weeks ago when Matthew Chen was on. He brought it up.
That makes sense.
And he didn't like it at all. And what he said, which Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, was he said it was like, it was cool that there was a lot of like representation for transgender people, and that there was actually like all the people that were transgender in the film they cast people.
Has he not seen Sleepaway Camp?
Doubt it. But he so he said it from that front, like it was like cool in that way.
Yeah.
But everything else was just a disaster. So I probably won't check this out. I do love the bake. But yeah, nah. Bill, have you seen this?
No, I saw it pop up in my Peacock and it showed like a clip. I'm like, is that fucking Anna Klumsky? What the fuck is this film? Okay, no, I don't know if I don't know if I'm ready to see Veda Sultanfuss run a Pray the Carry camp. I'm good.
Nazaria, what about you?
Do you know how transgender people do murders?
I don't want to hear the end of this.
They slash them.
Oh, that's
I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, Jesus, Lord help me.
All right. Bill, let's go to you. What is your least favorite movie along this week?
So, while I was watching Freddy versus Jason, something popped up. I was like, hey, people that watch this also like this. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen that when I was a teenager. I really fucking hated it. Maybe my mind will be changed. It was. I loathed it. It is disturbing behavior. This movie
With Katie Holmes?
sucks. Yes. We got Katie Holmes as a miscast bad girl. I don't buy it for 1 second, to be clear. Fucking Cyclops is already 30 in this, and he's been in fucking high school. I keep waiting for someone to page Catch a Predator the entire time he's in this fucking high school. It's like, no, thank you. I see the entire plot coming a mile away, and I remember when grunge hit, because I'm that old. There was like an article in like fucking Newsweek or some shit or the New York Times, and it was like grunge fucking slang, and it's the stupidest shit you've ever had. And I'm like, some jagoff made this shit up, and I'm pretty sure that jagoff wrote all of the dialogue for this horseshit film, because at no point in time do human beings talk like this to other human beings. I remember I took a video and I sent it to somebody. I'm like, what the fuck does this even mean? And it's like Katie Holmes insulting the yellow bastard, because he also goes to this high school. And she's like, hey, fail to be a tumor. And I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? I don't understand what you're saying, Katie. That's the whole film. The only thing redeeming is William Sadler, because he showed up for that paycheck. That's it. And he's in it for 5 minutes. I hate this movie.
I've actually never seen this. So
I don't recommend.
I can't discuss, but Mike, go ahead.
I've seen this a couple times. I enjoy it for the stupidity of it. I actually enjoy the goddamn shit in this. Especially Nick Stahl, I really enjoy it in this. Nick Stahl is insane in the best way in this. He had his run in like the late 90s, early 2000s where he did these like bully and shit like that, where he had these weird fucking roles. And he does it fucking well. And William Sadler is definitely great in this. I will say, yeah, William Sadler fucking knocks out of the park with the 5 minutes he gets.
Oh, yeah, totally does. But the on the nose playing Harvey fucking Danger's flagpole center while they're running through the mental hospital. I mean, fuck you, movie. So.
Fuck you, movie. Nazario.
I haven't seen this movie in 23 years.
Keep it that way, trust me.
I remember being pretty mid, but I don't remember hating it as much as this man who vividly describes it is. I do remember thinking, Katie Holmes is not pulling off that god look, not even with the nose ring. Other than that, I cannot even tell you what the plot of this movie is.
That's fair.
It's fucking stupid what it is.
I'm going to go next because I also have a film in which stars Katie Holmes, which is a 2020 film, Brahms the Boy 2. Oh, I said The Boys, but it's The Boy 2. Brahms. What a fucking shit show.
What even is this fucking title?
Correct. Thank you, Bill. So this movie came out in like 2016 called The Boy, and it's not good, but I didn't hate the twist. I'm going to spoil The Boy for anybody that wants it, doesn't want to.
Is it a backdoor pilot to sleepaway camp?
No. But basically this family is living in this house, and you find that it's a creepy doll movie. And the doll is named Brahms, and they think that the doll is like haunting them and stuff, but in reality, it's actually a man living in the walls of the house who was Brahms.
Isn't that Parasite?
No,
this is literally the plot to kill. This is the plot to Killer Sofa. That's what this is.
It's just terrible. And the director, I believe his name is William Brent Bell, is like my most hated director right now in Hollywood. Like, I think he's fucking terrible. He did The Devil Inside, both of these The Boy movies. He most recently did Orphan First Kill, which this is worse. And he did something else that was pretty big. I don't remember what it was. I'll have to look. But basically, every single movie I've seen him make is crap. And it was honestly an accident. Oh, Separation was the other one he made. It came out in 2021. Fucking awful horror film. So again, hasn't made a movie I liked. It was kind of an accident where like I was just looking for something short to watch on Netflix, and this was only 82 minutes or something like that.
That should have been the clue.
Yeah. So I just like threw it on, and then it just so happened that I clicked on the director and that he was directing Orphan First Kill, which also came out this week, which isn't great either, but this is worse. And it's so stupid because it pulls the whole, well, in the first one, it wasn't ghosts. It's a twist. It's actually a man living in the walls. But this one, oh boy, this one, there's fucking shit going on.
There's two guys in the walls.
Yeah.
And it's glorious.
And the title is called Brahms: The Boy 2.
Like Rambo First Blood Part 2.
I guess.
Sure. Except for shitty.
It's awful. Not a fan. And I cannot stress enough how much of a hack this director is. Like, sorry, I don't get that heated about directors and shit like that usually, but this man has made multiple 1-star movies for me. Like,
he sounds like he's your version of my Michael Giannichilo.
Sure.
The director of Icebreaker and Time Chasers and other stuff.
For a second, I thought you said Michael Giacchino. I was like, what the fuck?
Giancola.
Giancarlo Esposito. Let's go. Mike, you seen this?
Yes, I have. And yeah, it's a fucking movie. There's really nothing that, like, I'm not going to say that it's complete dog shit, but it's just a nothing movie. Nothing really fucking, there's no really big scares in it. Stories, blah. First twist and the first one's all right. I think the first one's all right. It's nothing great, but
it's a 2-star movie.
Yeah, but this one, yeah. It took everything that had actually good shit in the first one and just went, yeah, we're not going to give you any of that. We're just going to give you everything else. And yeah, it just turns into nothing.
Bill, have I sold you on watching this movie?
I think I'd rather watch a fucking car accident in real time.
Nazario, what about you?
Are you sure this is worse than the middle-aged woman pretending to be a child?
Yes. Because here's the thing, and just sidebar on Orphan First Kill. It's not a good movie. The twist is interesting. Like, I give it the...
What twist? We saw the first movie.
No, you don't know.
This is something else.
You don't know, man.
Like, I got live tweeted for the new Orphan movie. Someone's like, oh my God, it's like 2009. It's all over again. Interpol's playing. I'm like, and I'm out. There we go.
Yeah. There's a twist in the middle of this movie that actually made me go, all right, cool. You got me. Good shit. And then it does nothing with it. So the movie, not good, but the twist.
The little girl's Kaiser Soze. That's what it is.
Is the girl a clone of the same dino technology? Like,
we are just describing much better movies than all of these.
Much.
Okay, perfect. Nazario, your least favorite movie along this week?
Okay, this wasn't technically this week. I haven't seen that many much movies, but this is the worst thing I have seen in a little bit. I'm gonna go with Elvis. I had middle ground expectations for this movie because Baz Luhrmann, I mean, that man is something. Like, he will put everything in the fucking wall and see what sticks. But I figured you have 3 hours almost here. I mean, he's gonna like start at Moulin Rouge style, which is actually a good movie, and he's gonna like slow down at some point. About an hour into the movie, and the thing hadn't slowed down at all. I couldn't even figure out how the story was gonna build. It was just like watching a music video, very extended, and then the fucking penguin shows up and takes over the movie. This movie is about me. I'm gonna get the Batman. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Are you sure you didn't have maybe like a stroke?
No, I thought I actually fell asleep.
What you're describing sounds like a stroke.
I thought I fell asleep and I was dreaming a better movie with Batman in it, but no. Have you seen a movie called Hands of Stone?
Nope.
Well, Hands of Stone is the nickname they gave to Roberto Duran, which is one of the best boxers of all time. He's from Panama, which is fucking like national treasure here. He's also a drunk and a mean one at that, but still. They made a movie about him, but the main character was played by Robert De Niro, and it was his manager. So it's like that, but with Elvis. Austin Butler is singing the shit out of there in the background, doing the shaking and thing, doing a pretty solid Elvis impersonation, and then it's Tom Hanks on a fucking fat suit in the middle of the screen like, the story is about me. I made Elvis. If Elvis didn't meet me, you wouldn't even know who the fuck he was. And I'm like, really? You?
So they pulled like a Psycho where they just switched the main character halfway through?
I don't know, man, but I mean, I did not expect the Penguin to be the main character in the Elvis movie. I assure you that. Also, but toward the end of it, it turns out like the guy has been lying all along. He's having this like very deep Southern accent, and really fake, by the way. Southern accent and jolly, I want to be a good old boy and shit. And it turns out he's like an illegal immigrant from the Netherlands, hiding from the fucking government, who doesn't even have a passport. And that, my friend, is why Elvis never toured outside of the United States, because the Penguin wouldn't let him. It's a piece of shit.
Well, I mean, it has the phrase directed by Baz Luhrmann. What do you fucking think is going to happen?
I like Romeo.
It's like saying,
like,
you know what? Yeah, it's like saying, you know what? I know U-Bowl is fucking shat on my face. Maybe this one will be different. It won't.
I have to step away for like 2 minutes. Something has come up. So just, has everyone talked about Elvis? Sorry.
No, just me.
Well, you can keep talking about Elvis for like 2 more minutes, then I'll be back.
Have you seen Elvis? Sir, Bill Carriola.
No.
Mike, have you seen Elvis?
Yes, I have. Now, I had this throughout the movie. I had it as a pretty good fucking movie. Now, I was kind of enjoying it, but then it got to that ending, and I went, "Yeah, this is going 4 stars because it's so fucking batshit." I enjoyed the shit. I actually fucking enjoyed it. I thought it was fucking insane, but I enjoy that. I enjoy the insanity of it.
But the Penguin.
I think my favorite review I read.
I do want to see the Penguin in the fucking movie, though.
my favorite review I read for this movie was Baz Luhrmann actually did it. He directed a 2.5-hour movie trailer.
You know, I think that is part of the thing, because you get like all the glitz and the glamour and like excitement, and dude, like the movie almost goes X-rated at the point there. When the man starts shaking his hips for the first time and they zoom into the girls' faces, you're like, what the fuck are you going to show me right now, Baz Luhrmann?
Would you say it was glorious?
I'm going to say, I see Tim had to step away. I'm just agreeing with Nazario. Elvis is completely meh. There's nothing good. The people that are giving this 4 and 5 stars are crazy to me. Tom Hanks is giving one of the worst performances I have ever seen in my life. The thing is, I talked about this last week. The thing is, Tom Hanks plays a real person that doesn't have that accent. He's from the South, and he sounds like he's from another country trying to invade America. It's so weird. It's terrible. It's Elvis. The person that plays Elvis is good. I will say that he is good. But for a story about a man that did a ton of drugs, and apparently this fat German, Swedish, Russian man that worked him to his grave, it's kind of a really boring story for somebody that did enough drugs and worked him to death because he doesn't do anything throughout this movie. Like, he talks in that personality, like that accent, but that's about it. It's there's some people online that are crazy right now that have given this.
They put Austin Butler in a fat suit for the last shot of the movie, and that was weird.
Yeah. So who was next with their? Who hasn't given their worst movie of the week?
I believe we all did.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah, we all did.
Tim's back. Bye. I helped you out. I was watching you didn't have it, and no one else saw Elvis, so I came in and gave my rant. I saved you.
Awesome. All right. So
you haven't seen Elvis, have you, Tim?
I have seen it. I gave my full thoughts last week, I think it was, when Cody brought it up. I thought the movie was fine. Definitely didn't hate it, but I don't think I'll ever watch it again. Like, if I'm being honest, like it's not worth it to me to rewatch it ever. So, okay. That's everybody. Everybody did their worst, right? Yeah. So we are going to move on to our list. Guilty pleasures. This is going to get interesting. Mike, why don't you start us off?
All right, so I went with the 90s classic, Congo.
Okay.
Because that's a great fucking movie, all right? Fucking killer gorillas. And Tim Curry. And Delroy Lindo giving one of the greatest deliveries of a line of all time. Mr. Homoka, stop eating my sesame cake. I said, stop eating my sesame cake. I sent that shit to Nazario like 10 times after we watched it a couple months ago. This shit kills me every goddamn time. You got little cameos by like Bruce Campbell at the beginning of the movie.
Bruce Campbell!
Yes. It just goes fucking insane. The moment they get to the goddamn island, it just goes fucking bananas, and I can't get enough of it. Goddamn, the moment they show the goddamn killer gorillas for the first time, I'm like, yep, I'm in completely. And they take out Grant Heslov, and they take his head off completely, which is fucking hilarious when his head just rolls down the fucking stairs towards the rest of them as they're waiting. Even having Grant Heslov in this movie, Grant Heslov popping in 90s movies out of nowhere and then becoming the producer of fucking Argo and shit is just insane. But yeah, I have a great fucking time with this movie. It's insane in the best ways. The volcano shit at the end is fucking awesome because the gorillas just go, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to jump into the fucking lava at this point. Like, you just see them just start like hopping into the lava, not even trying to escape it. They just start hopping in like they're jumping into a fucking pool. It's insane. It's batshit crazy, and I love it.
I have never seen this, but this sounds like something I would love. So I am definitely going to be adding this to the list. Bill, your take on Congo?
I mean, was it Laura Linney? Ernie Hudson? This whole movie is like a fucking murderer's row of people that were like, yeah, I'll take that paycheck.
Yeah.
It's fine. This movie's bonkers. I haven't seen it like 20-something years, and it has come up like at least a few times in the last few months. So I'm like, I really need to rewatch this. This movie's fucking wacko. Oh, God. Tim Curry.
That fucking accent.
Yeah. So good.
Nazario.
This movie is about as faithful to the book as the Lost World Jurassic Park is to that book. In all the great ways, actually. It's I haven't seen it a bunch of time either. I just remember it came out. It was 95, right?
Yes.
Yes.
They opened the first big, and big I say with quotes because we're in Panama. So the first big cinema for that year. And this was one of the main movies they showed. Like, I remember the first 3 movies they put, it was like Pocahontas, Congo, Mortal Kombat. And I was like,
that's a bad weekend.
And then, but I remember, like, very particularly, like, Bruce Campbell is doing an expedition in the Congo thing for his dad. He's finding like a diamond to do something with a satellite. I don't really remember what the fuck it was.
Oh, no,
and then his dad is like, "Did you get it? did you get it from like a giant screen? Like, did you get it? You got it? You got it? He's like, yeah. And then a fucking gorilla kills him. And he's like, my diamond. I mean, my son. And then Laura Linney, who is the Bruce Campbell's girlfriend or wife, I don't remember, one of those. She's like, but you should be worried about your son. She's like, you have to go to the Congo and get it back. She's like, you mean your son? Yes. And the diamond. And she's like, if I go there and I find out that you care more about the diamond than your son, I'm going to make you pay. I was like, woman, it's pretty fucking obvious he wants the diamond more than the kid. So when you get the twist at the end of the movie, she's like, you really wanted the diamond instead, right? He's like, yes!
Yeah.
We knew this from the start! And then she fucking like uses a laser and destroys his whole satellite system as a revenge for that. I'm like, dude, I like you, movie. You're weird.
You're weird. All right. So I'm gonna go next. If you know me at all, you know this is a pick that I was gonna make. I don't really like any other film by this director. But fuck if I don't love 2007's Rob Zombie's Halloween movie. The sequel, trash. Most other Rob Zombie movies, not a big fan of. But this one, I fucking love this movie. And I don't know if it's just because like I saw it at a certain time that like just made me like, I don't know. I genuinely, the adult version, the child version of Michael, I don't hate, but like as much as everybody else, I don't love it. But like the adult version of Michael in this movie, I love. Like he's a fucking maniac on the run. And like you get glimpses of that version of Michael in other movies, but like the dude is fucking brutal in this. And I love it. It is so awesome. This is also straight up, other than the 2018 Halloween movie, I think this is my favorite look of Michael Myers in a Halloween movie. Like when the fact that he has the mask as a kid and it's all clean and it's buried in the house for years and years and years, and he comes back to it and pulls it up and there's a bunch of like little holes and stuff in it. It's just dirty and it's like that gray, like grimy look. Like I think it looks fucking sick, like so cool. And we talked about what was it on? It must have been this show. Oh no, you know what it was? It was a debate and it just aired, I think. It was Tyler Birch versus Alex Martinez. They talked and debated about worst horror icons characters, and Birch talked about Malcolm McDowell's version of Sam Loomis being the worst. And I think Halloween 2, I can buy into that. I actually really like Malcolm McDowell in this movie. He's not doing Donald Pleasance, which I think is fair, but I actually
Hollywood Loomis is in the second one. Hollywood Dr. Loomis.
Yeah, Hollywood Loomis yelling at Weird Al's in the second one. But in this one, I actually buy into him trying to help Michael and then giving up. And I like that he's kind of like this, like, kind of older badass type of dude. And Malcolm McDowell is just like, I fucking love Malcolm McDowell. So I think he's awesome in this. And I love the ending of the movie. Like, I don't know. I get why people don't like it. If somebody tells me like, blah, this movie's gross, I hate it, all the characters are disgusting, yes, you are 100% correct. But I love this movie, and I don't have a great explanation for it. I just really, really do. The director's cut, terrible, because there is a very, very explicitly awful scene in that movie. You think the theatrical cut is gross.
Oh yeah,
this cut is even worse. Mike knows what I'm talking about. But I think the theatrical cut is great. I really do. There's just like little stuff the whole movie that I could talk about this movie all day. I genuinely really, really love it. And we talked about, there was a YLS episode where it might have been guilty movie pleasures. No, I don't think I was on that, but I don't remember, but I talked about this and I rambled for like 30 minutes, so I won't do that.
Maybe he was boxed.
It was not boxed it. It was not boxed it. But no, I really do like this movie, and I again understand why people hate it. So I consider it a guilty pleasure just because I can see where the flaws are, but they don't really matter to me because I love it. Also, underrated Danny Trejo in this movie. Didn't deserve to get that TV dropped on his head. Great part of the movie. Mike, what do you think about 2007's Halloween?
All right, so I'll start by saying that the thing that I hate the most about this movie is the fact that it takes what everyone loves about Michael Myers, the fact that there's no rhyme or reason for why he's doing what he's doing, and they tried to explain that, and I'm like, there was no reason to explain that. You cut that part out, and you take the vicious Michael. I'll agree with you. The viciousness, I would have loved to see in further Michael Myers movies. Because I think the viciousness is fucking great. Like, the kills that he does is fantastic. I think Danielle Harris does really fucking well in this, in the part that she has. Malcolm McDowell, I don't really care for as Loomis. But, you know, I can understand why some people may like him. Other than that, like Danny Trejo and Diamond Dallas Page together, fucking oh no, I'm sorry, I got two movies mixed up there for a second. Yeah, the Danny Trejo as a fucking nurse, I think is great. I think he does a fantastic job in there, and it does show that Michael does not give a shit about even people that care about him, clearly. But yeah, other than that, I don't really care for this one or the second one. Because it's just, you don't need to explain Michael Myers, and then you don't need to add a white horse out of nowhere.
The horse is fucking great. Come on.
Rosario, you're fucking high, dude. I remember, sidebar, I just gushed about this movie for like 5 minutes. Clearly, I love it. I remember going to see the second one in the theater in 2009 and being so fucking hyped, and I was there opening day and I was like, let's go. The whole hospital thing, like the first 15 minutes, fucking great. Kills are brutal. Octavia Spencer, blood gushing out, like, oh my god, incredible. And then it fucking white horse bullshit. I've never been so mad. I seriously straight up don't think I've ever been so mad at a sequel to a movie ever than that movie. I fucking despise that movie. Bill, 2007's Halloween.
I'm slightly different from Mike, where I appreciate he was trying to tell a very different story to this.
Yeah.
By examining, like, oh, well, what's the in-between stuff? I will give credit to where it's due. You're not going to top the other one. Try to put your own spin, and that's the way Rob Zombie decided to go. I was like, okay, not what I would have done, but I'm kind of on board. And this is one of those movies where the more I think about it, the more I don't like it. It's just mean. Like, everybody is a very unlikable. Laurie, especially, I think, does a disservice through both of these films.
Yeah.
I don't know any teenage girl that finger bangs a fucking bagel in front of their mothers. Fucking come on, man, dude.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, and Loomis is just awful. Like, it's more in the second one than in the first one. Like, God bless Malcolm McDowell. He's really trying. Could we give it up for the series MVP who does not get enough credit, and that is Brad Dourif? That guy showed up
He's really good.
set every day.
Yeah.
That is the most thankless job in these two films, and he's fucking killing it.
I will also, you just reminded me, Bill, there is a blooper in the blooper reel for this movie that fucking kills me, and it's Brad Dourif and Malcolm McDowell in a police car, and they're just driving around talking, and it is seriously the funniest shit ever. Just like YouTube the blooper reel for this movie after the show. It is seriously so funny. And also, sidebar, before I let Nazario talk about how this sucks, but the white horse is cool. There is, I'll find the video afterwards and show you guys, remind me, but Malcolm McDowell does have the best line in this movie, and Maggie and I laugh every single time as towards the end, Loomis saves Lori from Michael, gets her in his car, and she says, "Was that the boogeyman?" And he says the famous, like, as a matter of fact, it was. Michael smashes through the window in a big jump scare, and the focus is on Michael pulling Lori out of the car, but in the background, you just hear Malcolm McDowell say, "Jesus Christ, what the hell?" And it's an Oscar-worthy performance of him yelling, "Jesus Christ!" And it's so good. So I will be showing you guys that afterwards. But Nazario, go ahead.
I like this movie. I think it's a good movie. It is the worst Halloween named movie of the 3 movies that are named Halloween from the series.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's still good. I do like what he was going for. But this is the problem with Rob Zombie. He's not great. I will say his best movie is actually The Devil's Rejects. It's not this. This is his second best movie. Well, maybe. What's the name of the sequel to The Devil's Rejects, Mike? I forgot. Three
from Hell.
Yeah.
Oh,
that one is about as good as this one, I think. But the studio made the same thing that Warner Brothers did with Batman and Tim Burton in '89. They were like, "Yeah, I don't want to come back for a sequel." They're like, "How can we get you back for a sequel?" Said, "Let me do whatever the fuck I want." And they were like, "Yes, do that." However, Tim Burton is a good director, and Batman Returns is good. But Halloween 2 is just Rob fucking Zombie going fucking bananas. But I almost put that one as one of my guilty pleasures, the second one, because the director's cut is actually way better than the theatrical cut. The inverse of this one. Because they actually change like the essence of the relationship of Laurie and the Daniel Harris character is completely different. Yeah. It's like a whole different thing.
And the ending is completely different too.
And I also like the white horse in the director's cut.
No. White horse is always shit. The ending of the second one is different. Like, I believe in the theatrical cut. Trivia people can correct me if I'm wrong. So maybe I'm thinking of the director's cut and actually still hate that one. But in one of the endings, Michael speaks. And I remember that happened, and I almost quit cinema. Like, I almost said I'm never watching a movie again. Because
he also went full hillbilly in the second one.
Yeah.
Oh, he eats a dog in that movie, and I was not a fan. Okay, let's move on. Bill, we're going to go to you for your first pick.
I have a musical cue ready for this. I apologize. So if we can just discuss my all-time favorite guilty pleasure movie. Not paradise all the time. Yes! Hard Ticket to Hawaii is the greatest thing that ever happened to cinema. Fuck you, Citizen Kane. Everybody I show this movie to is better for it. Everybody loves it. Is this movie competent? No. Does this movie make sense? Absolutely not. But does this movie have a guy getting shot with a rocket launcher and then also having this blow-up doll shot with said rocket launcher? Absolutely it does. Does someone get murdered with a Frisbee with razor blades in it? Yes, it does. Is there a lot of uncomfortable nudity? You bet. Do any of the one-liners make sense? I don't know. Do I love every minute I watch this film? You fucking A right, I do. This is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. When I found this movie when I was a kid on like late night Cinemax, I'm like, this is the fucking best thing I've ever seen. And there's 12 of these. This is a cinematic universe of titty. Fucking, you're all welcome to the internet. So no, you're really not. This movie's fucking great as hell. You could just watch out of context clips and just have your fucking mind blown. It's so good. Sorry.
I have never seen this.
It's free on YouTube. Just fucking go search it. You'll be fucking beautiful. It's the best 90 minutes you're gonna spend this week.
Mike, have you seen this?
I saw this when I was a kid. I do not remember anything. I've been meaning to actually rewatch it too, but I just haven't done it yet. But yes, I will be finding it real quick to watch.
Oh, I almost forgot about the snake that randomly pops up in this film that has been contaminated from toxins from cancer rats. Because that's how that works.
Nazario, have you seen this?
No.
You're all missing out, man. This movie's the fucking goods.
All right. So, Nazario, we'll go to you for your first pick.
Okay, for my first pick, this is where I'm gonna go. Everybody knows 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is in my top 10 movies of all time. I get a lot of shit for that, and I will defend the fuck out of that movie because I think it's one of the most balanced versions of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles presented on film because it has some of that grittiness from the early Mirage comics, but it's appealing to smaller children like in the cartoon in the 80s was. However, the sequel, the second one, not the third one, because that one is sexually bad. The second one.
I thought you were going to say that one. I got really scared.
Secret of the Ooze is a very fun movie. It's not a good movie, but it is a very fun movie. Basically, like all the parents bitch about the swearing and the violence and all the cool shit from the first movie. So they had to adapt and they changed everything for the second one. They actually had to change the masks of the turtles because they say they were too creepy. So they made it more smiley, more happy, more goofy looking. They look more like the cartoon. The turtles barely use their weapons in this one.
Yeah.
There's a second.
They don't at all.
They're literally glued to the suits. They're not allowed to touch them at all. They never use weapons in this film.
Yeah.
At least the ones they have.
There's a scene where Michelangelo just gets two fucking sausages that are stuck together to use as fucking nunchucks because, you know.
Because parents suck.
However, I also don't understand the choice of putting two brand new mutants in the movie, Toka and Razor, when they could perfectly have used John Bebop and Rocksteady because, you know, they were already established. However, watching the movie overall, it's fun. What's the name of the actor? You know, the guy who was the butler on the Titanic. He was the scientist in this movie.
Yeah.
David Warner.
Yes, David Warner. Yeah. He like died recently.
Yes.
Poor guy. That guy is like chewing the scenery. Like, yeah, I'm gonna use the ooze, and I'm gonna like Shredder wants him to make the mutants, and he's like, I tricked him because I put the ooze. I changed it to make them like babies. I'm like, how did you change it, man? You're tied to a chair. But you know, he did. And then it like they trying to trick the Toka and Razor into eating the anti-mutagen that just came up out of nowhere because they needed to have it in donuts, which is brilliant because, you know, babies like donuts. Also, they changed the actor who played Shredder with no explanation. They just assumed we would not know the difference, which is racist. And they wrap up the fucking thing with Vanilla Ice. And one of the best moments in cinema history from the 90s, the ninja rap.
Go ninja,
go ninja, go ninja, go ninja, go ninja, go. Come on. Kino, I take it or leave it. Kino was one of the guys who was inside the suit in the first movie. They like him so much that they said, like, you know what? You get a part in the second one. But he's kind of a dumbass. He's like sitting with Splinter, like, I just want to go fighting. He's like, relax, you're not ready. I just want to go there fighting. Relax, go. And then he
goes. Pizza delivery guy, right?
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, I want to kick his fucking ass into his
and then he's like,
every minute.
Fuck you, Splinter. I don't need to meditate shit. I'm going to the sea. And then he just goes there. Those one kick ruins everything. And he's like, yeah, I fucked up. Dude, we told you. You were not ready. Also, one of the best and worst endings to a movie have Shredder taking the final patch of ooze, turning into this giant-ass mutant super Shredder, which is actually played by Kevin Nash, a.k.a. Diesel from WWE.
Big sexy.
And they're like, yeah, let's fucking go. And then he's like, no, let's just destroy the dog. And they're like, you're gonna die. He's like, I don't care. And then he dies in like 2 minutes. And I'm like, okay, that sucked. But he was cool for a second. So I did indeed buy that toy.
Of course you did.
I have them all. I have all the Secret of the Ooze characters. It's amazing.
This isn't for me. I actually like the first one. Like, it's not top 10 movies of all time, but like I get why it is for Nazario. When I was growing up, I watched the animated show a lot. Like a lot. We had like all the VHS tapes of like the original animated series and the episodes, and so I'm a big Donatello guy, big fan. But yeah, no, what's wrong with liking Donatello?
He's the least likable of the 4 turtles.
From the cartoon, he was my favorite.
If you go to the merchandising page of every single version or iteration of the Ninja Turtles, it's always been the same. The most sold figure, Leonardo with a bullet all the time. Second one, Raphael, which surprised me. He's my favorite, but I assume it was Michelangelo, but it's not. The second one is Raphael. Michelangelo is the third best sold, and Donatello is the least sold one. Actually, sometimes when they do variants and they don't have the budget to do all 4 turtles and they just do 3, they don't do Donatello.
Well, I'll tell you who they don't do, Venus.
Do you go to every customer that buys a Donatello and go, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah,
right. Buying Donatello.
But anyway, I like the first movie. I like the 2007 animated one. I think that one's actually pretty good. And sorry, I didn't hate the new ones. Like, they're not good, but I didn't hate them. But yeah, this one and Turtles in Time.
Whoa. He learned ninjutsu for a book he found in a sewer. And then he was good enough to teach 4 other people how to be ninjas from a book. The rat couldn't even read.
If you're
book.
If you're trying to explain the logic to me, Nazario, I don't give a fuck. That movie has a scene where they're on a fucking like avalanche and sliding down a giant fucking like snowstorm. The movies, they're all stupid. But anyway, this isn't for me, but there is some enjoyment to be had. It's to me the second worst Ninja Turtles movie. So I don't go back to this one often. So Mike.
Yeah, I enjoy the shit out of this movie. This movie is so fucking wild. And yeah, that first scene of them in that, like, I don't even know, like the mini mall, I guess.
Like a department store.
It's just so
It's like a department store, but it's like in a basement.
Yeah, it's fucking, and there's different shops to it. Like, it's very fucking weird, but that entire sequence of them using anything but their weapons to kick the shit out of the fucking Foot Clan is hilarious.
It might actually be a subway station.
That could be it. Yeah,
the New York ones have like all the stores and shit.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's actually who the fuck cares?
Bill, what do you think of this one?
No, I'm good. I aged bad. Aged real bad. Not as bad as part 3. Holy shit. I didn't like that when I was a kid. By the way, I don't understand the first one. I love that movie. That is legitimately solid film.
It's really fun. Yeah.
It really is. Fucking yeah, but no. You could pretty much guarantee I won't watch something because it has to have the words and Vanilla Ice. I'm good. I'm out.
Tim, there's a comment from like 30 minutes ago where Cody posted, "I agree with Nazario.
Elvis.
You should hold that there and put it up every time I say something. You know it's gonna make him pissed."
Okay,
like
yeah,
this.
I can do that. Yeah. So here about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. All right. We are gonna go on to Mike. It is your next pick.
Okay, so it's between 2, and I went, let's fucking go for this one. I'm going, My Name is Bruce. Now, if you've ever seen this movie, this movie is fucking insane in the best ways. It's directed and starring Bruce Campbell as playing himself as a shitty B actor, as he does in the movie. I think he's doing Cave Alien 2 as a movie that he's filming during the thing.
Like in Albania or something?
Yeah. And he lives in a shitty trailer, and he hates his life. He kind of hates where his life has gone because he wanted to be a bigger actor, but they even have a I think it's on the TV where the lady's basically going, yeah, what happened to Bruce Campbell? Where did he go? And it's on his birthday. He gets all pissed off, and he calls Ted Raimi, who plays his agent in it, and he's whining about his life. And Ted Raimi tells him, I got something for you for your birthday, and it's going to be a surprise. And then this kid shows up and kidnaps Bruce Campbell and puts him in the trunk of his car and brings him back to his town of Gold Lake, where a Chinese god called Wan Di has been resurrected and is killing the townspeople. And they bring Bruce Campbell in to kick the shit out of Wan Di. Bruce Campbell thinks this is all a fucking movie going on. He doesn't think this is real, so he's not taking any of it serious. He's hitting on the mom of the kid, and he's drinking, doing this, and then he shows up to it, and he runs away the moment he finds out that it's fucking real, and it just goes insane from there. And it's very low budget. It is very just in-your-face references for Bruce's real movies and fake movies, because they couldn't get all the rights to all of his movies to use, so he puts in these random B movie titles to go along with his other B movies. It's insane in the best way. He is acting his ass off as being the ridiculous self of Bruce Campbell, especially when he has a little bit where they have an autograph session where these guys are waiting outside of his outside of the little studio that they're at to get his autograph, and he's just handing them pictures that are already pre-signed, and there's a guy in a wheelchair that shows up and acts like an asshole to him, so he just kicks the wheelchair off screen, and you just hear a fucking car crash happen, and then he gets in his car and drives away. It's fucking insane. I love it to death. Yeah. My name is Bruce.
I saw this a long time ago, but it was just once, and I haven't seen it again since. But I remember liking it. I didn't love it, but I'm sure I would actually like it more now, because now that I know more about Bruce Campbell and him as a person and an actor, I'd probably enjoy it more now than when I saw it. Bill, have you seen this?
Not in years. Probably when it first hit on home video is probably when I saw it. As I was I'm a huge Bruce Campbell nut, so I was this is exactly the movie I wanted it to be. The line reading of "Holy shit, this is fucking real!" is just such a great scene. I fucking love this movie. It is funny. I think I really need to rewatch this, but it is a good time, especially if you're a Campbell fan. It's absolutely a must watch.
Nazario.
I don't think Mike understood the assignment, because good movies are good movies. Guilty pleasures are movies that are supposed to be bad and you enjoy them anyway, right? The fuck are you putting this? This movie is fucking great.
Yeah, all right, there you go. All right. I'll go next. So yeah, I with my picks went to the ratings and kind of to see what other people were giving it. And basically if the average was 3 or lower, I kind of used that as a gauge to me. And so my next pick is a movie I don't think a lot of people actively hate, but I think that I enjoy way more than other people, and I don't understand why people don't like it. That is Anchorman 2: The Legend Continues. I love the first one. I do. It's one of my favorite comedies of all time, and I like the first one more. But if I'm being honest, I think the second one is kind of right on par with the first one. I think there are so many funny jokes in this, and I honestly was living in a fairyland where I thought everybody loved this movie just as much as me, and then I watched it in Kansas City in person with Nick, Maggie, and Cody, and me and Nick were having the time of our lives, and Cody and Maggie were fucking miserable because they just were not enjoying the movie, and I don't get it. I think it is so funny from beginning to end. There's some jokes that don't age super well, but Will Ferrell is so funny as this character. There's a moment right at the beginning where Harrison Ford cameos as like the boss of like the network that or he's like one of the head like news reporters for the station, and he like has Veronica and Ron in his office, and he gets like right up into Ron's face, and he says something along the lines of like, "What are you, Finnish?" And Ron says, "Would you believe me if I said I was 100% Mexican?" And just like, I don't know why, but just like jokes like that make me laugh so hard. And then he says, they bring it back up later where he's like, "It's so hard for a Mexican man to get a cab in this city." Just like shit like that. This movie turns up everything to 100, and I think it is just like so stupid but so funny. Like honestly, the only bit in this movie that doesn't really work for me, and I don't think it's one people think of a lot, is like the whole like when they're driving to New York and they're in the van, and the van like, "Oh, it's on cruise control," and like the van like flips and everything. That part's pretty stupid, but like the updated extra crazy fight with the ghost of Stonewall Jackson and all that stuff, I fucking...
Is that a Minotaur?
And then Greg Kinnear showing up as Gary, the who can use telekinesis and everything. Like, I think it's super funny. There's one line that I used to quote. It's not even like a quote, but it's when he first meets Gary and Veronica. Walter is their son, and he's looking at Gary, this guy who is now with his wife, and he just looks at him and just goes, "Fuck you." And he says it so quietly and so like Ron Burgundy like. It's just like, I don't know, man. I think it is hilarious. Jack Lame is also, I think that James Marsden is really funny in this.
Would you say, guy? Would you say?
Yeah, what'd you say? Yeah. Nothing. I think I said that you look nice. And then, but when they actually are like doing the whole like news stuff and they're like getting super popular, it is so funny. That whole thing where they're sitting there and they're like, Paul Rudd's character, whose name is Brian Fantana, is like doing a whole report on crack and why it's an epidemic. And then Ron is like, "I believe we have some crack here in the studio." And they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna smoke this crack on air right now." And they're back there like,
"Don't do that."
Is he serious? And they start, and Ron takes a hit, and he's like, "Ooh, it hits you right away. You feel that immediately." And they get arrested. "Well, now we know you can't smoke crack on live television." It's just, I just think it's so funny. Like, and honestly, like, people say it goes overboard. It does, but it makes me laugh. Like, when he goes blind, he fucking goes blind and lives in a fucking lighthouse. And it's so stupid. But there's a line in there where he's like, "Oh, do you have any idea what it's like to be blind? I can't even masturbate. I woke up and I was vigorously rubbing my shin and I was thinking, where's the pleasure? Why can't I feel the sensations?" And they're like, "But it's connected to you." I just think it's so funny. And I could ramble on and joke about all the parts of this movie all day long. I genuinely think it's super, super funny. The last line I'll say is, I quote this a lot, is the fact that Champ Kind opened up a fried chicken place.
Chicken in the cave.
Yeah, chicken in the
cave.
Because he says, "Is this real chicken? Hell no. We mainly use bats." And you know what they call bats? Chicken of the cave. Oh, so fucking good. I don't get why people don't think this is funny. I think it's hilarious and so stupid and amazing. And there are 3 cuts of this movie. There's the original cut, which is great. There's a unrated cut, which is like 10 minutes longer, and that's okay. But there is a supersized R-rated version that's like 2.5 hours long, and it is fucking awesome. And there's a whole musical number in it, and like it's seriously like Adam McKay and company just went nuts, and it's awesome. So I've been rambling on way too long, but Mike, What do you think of this movie?
All right, so let me preface this by saying that I am not a huge Will Ferrell guy.
Oh,
There's
fair.
a few of his films that I absolutely love, but the majority of them I think they're okay, or I just don't get it. Anchorman, I always thought was good. I never got the hype that a lot of people put towards the first Anchorman. So going into this one, it just didn't hit for me. Like, it's not terrible, but most of the jokes just don't land for me. And the jokes that do are funny, but they're not laugh out loud funny to me. It's like looking at Nazario's face. You kind of want to laugh, but then you don't.
That's fair. Bill.
So when this kind of came out, my friend got advanced screeners for it somehow. I don't know how. He's like, hey, I got advanced, whatever. And there's like a Q&A or whatever afterwards. I'm like, oh, fuck, whatever. So we went and saw it like 2 weeks or whatever before, and I fucking laughed my ass off for like the entire film. Because is this movie dumb as hell? Fucking A right, and it's exactly what I wanted it to be. And it turned out to be a Q&A with like Adam McKay afterwards. So, and that was just a hilariously good time because he was just going into all these like crazy stories and all the shit that was like cut from this film. And I love that they like, especially when you get these guys together. I think it was like the first Anchorman. There's like a whole other movie that got chopped from it and got put into like Wake Up Ron Burgundy or whatever.
Wake Up Ron Burgundy, yeah.
And like it is like a completely different film, just Frankenstein pieces from shit they didn't work into the other ones. Like a whole subplot with like Chuck D being a fucking bank robber, because fucking why not? Like just fucking put everybody into this film. And yeah, make a third one and fucking go to space. I don't care what you do. I am on board. I loved this movie when I saw it. I haven't seen it in a lot of years, but like just talking about half the shit, I was like, I forgot how fucking funny that was.
Yeah,
I really did. The whole subplot with like fucking Brick and Kristen Wiig and just anything they do together.
So good.
Jesus Christ.
Nazario, your take.
This is I mean, the first one is really funny. The first one is classic. But I do think this one falls into the pitfall of, like Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, or Zoolander 2, which is like they want to do a bunch of the same thing, bigger and shinier, and it just doesn't really work.
Zoolander 2 is a pile of shit.
Yes. Actually,
I didn't even finish.
It's so bad.
Yes, it is. But like, for example, a lot of people tell me like their favorite Austin Powers movies is Spy Who Shagged Me, and I don't get that because International Man of Mystery is actually a classic ass comedy, and I feel that way. Like people can tell me Anchorman. Yes, thank you, Cody. People can tell me that Anchorman is one of their favorite comedies of all time. I get it. Anchorman 2, it's fine. It's more of the same, just not as good. But it's not a bad movie. It's okay.
All right. Bill, I believe we're on to you for your next pick.
Little known fact about me, I love kung fu movies. I especially love bad kung fu movies. And one of the greatest / worst bad fucking kung fu movies I've ever seen is Ninja 3: The Domination. If you've never seen this, I have no idea what is happening in this film. It is like two different movies that got Frankenstein together somehow. So you start off with your regular ninja fight, which has just some of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure he shoots a gun with a blow dart. I don't know how the fuck that even works out, but whatever. So the bad guy ninja dies, and his soul inhabits a female telephone worker, and she carries out the rest of the hits in this film. It's just, and it's also somehow, it's like a kung fu movie, but it's also like Flashdance somehow. Like, I don't know how the fuck they pulled that off, but it's just bonkers. I fucking love this movie. Also, James Hung, fucking, you're welcome.
Oh,
let's go. That's all I need. Yeah, just fucking let's do it. Yeah, no, this movie makes absolutely no sense, and I love every minute of it.
The last time I watched a kung fu related movie that I had never seen before was with Mike and Nazario, and they made me watch Kung Pao Enter the Fist,
which is a fucking rad ass movie,
which was a good
which
time.
I saw in the theater.
It was a good time. It wasn't Jake there. Did Jake watch it with us too, or no? Was it just the three of us? I think
it was the three of us.
Okay, I will say, no matter how many times I see Kung Pao in the fist, it's two things. Every time it happens, I fucking cry my eyes out laughing. And it's just two lines. Number two is when you ladies are done kissing, I believe I have some ass to kick. Every time. But number one, that's a lot of nuts! Every time that line happens, I fucking lose my mind.
He's going there with nuts.
My name is Betty.
I love the fact that there's a whole fucking conversation where it's just yeah.
That was all I heard for like a whole afternoon. From the Zario.
I mean, from the acclaimed director of Thumb Wars. What did you think you were gonna get? Come on.
It's fair.
The gut thumb is.
I'm yeah. Yeah. Trying to think. Yeah.
Mike, have you seen Ninja 3: The Domination?
I have not, but I've been wanting to because of James Hong.
Fair. Zario?
Paramount Plus. It's fucking free. It's right on there.
No.
Right.
Watch this. Thank me later. There's a whole scene where, and I don't know how this works out, but it's like the evil ninja guy who is already like, taking a. So he's already like inhabited Christie, but Christie also still is like trying to fuck a dude. And you know how they do the whole sexy things with food in movies, which are not sexy. And I don't know why they bother doing it. But like she pours a whole bottle of fucking V8, which is the unsexiest thing I can imagine. Could you imagine the smell from that when it dries?
Like
I don't know why we thought tomato juice would catch on as a beverage. Fucking weird movie. 8 out of 5 stars.
All right, Nazario, your next pick.
I got 3 words for you. Freddy got fingered.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom and throw up.
I don't know what is it.
But I'm gonna go to the bathroom though. I will be right back.
Good shit.
All right.
This movie,
I will.
This movie is not a good movie. This thing is barely a movie. But somehow, every time I catch it on TV or something, it's like it fucking hypnotizes me. And I just fucking get glued and I keep watching. I don't know what this is. It's surreal as fuck. It's like everything happens in the way it shouldn't happen or the wrong way it should on a movie. Like he brings in Drew Barrymore, who was his wife at the time, just to humiliate her in a short scene and just never go back to her. He brings in Harlan Williams, which is a very like extroverted comedian, and he makes him be the straight guy.
Yeah.
The straight guy who actually injures himself at one point, and then Tom Green starts licking his wounds for no reason.
From the skateboard.
Also, like there are scenes that are like he had dreams of things happening, and then he just put them in the movie for whatever reason. Like when he puts all the sausages on strings in the bathroom with the piano and he starts playing, Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausages? And then are things that just, how when you repeat the same thing over and over again, it kind of starts losing its meaning. It's like they're in the scene where they're in a fancy restaurant and he's like all decked out and he dressed all formal and shit, and they get into a fight and he says like, you cannot fight. This is a fancy restaurant. We cannot have you fighting right now. It's a fancy restaurant. And then he just jumps into the table with the food, starts shooting the sodas to the people in the water and throwing food at his, keeps repeating, it's a fancy restaurant. It's a fancy restaurant. This is a fancy restaurant. What does that mean? I don't know what it is, but I cannot look away. And then he just goes to Hollywood because he has to make his father proud. You proud, Daddy? Proud. And then he he sells like a guy. He wants to sell him his drawings. He brings his childish sketches like my kid does. My kid is 6 years old, and he brings the sketches to Anthony fucking Michael Hall, and he's like, I'm gonna greenlight that into an animated series. And then they have a whole segment which is animation, which is Tom Green, half zebra, half Tom Green, kicking the floor and saying, "Look at my hooves! I have hooves! Look at my hooves! Zebras in America!" I'm like, how did we get here? How did we get here? In the end, he masturbates an elephant, showered his dad with the sperm, and his dad says, "Now I'm proud." By the way, 45 minutes into the movie, we still don't know why Freddy Got Finger is the title, and then we get an explanation, and it's fucked up.
So, I haven't seen this, but last week, Payson brought this up as his least favorite movie he logs that week. And I heard all about this from Payson. He didn't mention any of that shit. No.
Zebras in America.
I'm not going to watch that, Nazario.
He gets $1 million paid for the animated TV show, and he uses it to move his parents' house to the other side of the world. Thank you, Cody. Somebody's reasonable today. To the other side of the world, while his dad is inside of it, unconscious because he knocked him out. And then they're like, "Wow, you have a lot of money." And he's like, "Well, I had $1 million. I rented the moving company and the elevator and the helicopter. It's all gone." Also, I forgot to mention his girlfriend, who is handicapped. She cannot walk. She's in a wheelchair. But you know what her kink is? She likes getting her legs beaten with a stick. That's how she gets hot.
Specifically a bamboo cane.
It's a bamboo cane. It's specifically a bamboo cane. And this is the thing. She likes to give him head and get her legs beaten. That's it. So he tries to make her happy. He does the regular things that, a boyfriend would. He gets chocolates, he gets flowers, and she doesn't like any of that shit. And he's like, "What are you doing? I brought the chocolates. I want to be a good boyfriend." She's like, "All I want to do is get beaten with a bamboo stick and suck your dick." Good shit.
The exact line is, "I don't want jewels. I don't want jewels. I just want to suck your cock."
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God. No, I'm not watching this. Mike.
Oh, I absolutely fucking love this movie to death. And they have a scene in there that Nazario kind of mentioned where he goes to Anthony Michael Hall to sell the drawings, and the fucking dad shows up and starts beating the shit out of Tom Green. And Anthony Michael Hall thinks it's an act. He thinks he hired the fucking guy to come in and beat the shit out of his son. So he loves it, and that's why he gives him the money. He's so obsessed with it that he's beating the shit out of him.
He gets a job in a Subway, and then he starts putting all the ingredients on his face.
And then he runs over a horse. It fucking opens up.
No, the horse
falls into it.
The horse is the introduction. For the payoff is the elephant later.
Yes, it's fucking. Oh.
And like I said, like little segments of this movie are just hypnotizing. It's like that's
it's a bunch of like little clips put into a fucking movie. Basically, it's little comedic clips.
And then it's like it like I say, it's surreal as fuck. And then I don't even remember the song. I remember just the feeling, like when he quits Subway, like because they tell him he can never be there again. He just throws everything in the garbage and then slowly walks away in the middle of a rainy day with this sad, like Enya type song playing in the background. He's like, and the shot holds on to that for like 5 minutes.
Cox gets so pissed off at Tom Green that he takes the fucking skateboard ramp outside and runs over it with a fucking truck.
Rip Torn is a fucking treasure.
Yeah, Rip Torn, not Branca. Rip Torn
is a fucking treasure.
Bill, 2 things. One, are you eating cheesecake?
I am eating cheesecake.
You son of a bitch. And
I'm eating cheesecake if I'm in the pub of this fucking movie.
Yeah, let's hear your thoughts.
Because I am part Golden Girl. I love me some cheesecake. So, I used to live with a roommate his 3 favorite movies in order: The Room, this fucking movie, and Dirty Love, starring Jenny McCarthy.
Oh my god.
Carmen Electra in one of the more awful things I've ever seen, to where when I saw her performance, I pretty much apologized to every person of color I have ever met that day forward. And Shitbreak from American Pie.
Yeah.
And these were his 3 favorite. I've seen Freddy Got Fingered more than movies I actually like. I hate this movie. I hate everything about this movie. I hate that it exists. I want to punch Tom Green's parents for giving birth to him. Like, this is just mind-numbing, and I hate it.
But you can quote it.
Because I've seen it
Yeah, I know.
so many times. And that's why I hate it so much. It is like my cross to bear. Because I had to endure this fuck of a movie. Why is there a cheese sandwich factory? What even the fuck is that? What is happening at any point in this film?
I'm a scuba diver, Daddy. We don't get the soap.
All right. We have 2 open spots left. Who has another one that they could talk about?
I have one.
Mike, why don't you go then?
Okay, so what a lot of people probably don't know is that I am a really big fan of 80s and 90s Emilio. I love that fucking dude. And
Oh my God, please tell me you're going to talk about the movie I think you're going to talk about.
so I got to go with the batshit insane cocaine-filled Maximum Overdrive.
Oh, I was hoping for Men at Work.
Men at Work
was
is also
hoping
a
for
fucking fantastic movie, mind you. Genuinely, I love that movie to
I
death.
do
but
too. That movie's great.
Maximum Overdrive opens with a fucking ATM machine calling Stephen King an asshole, and then a soda machine killing a bunch of baseball kids and hitting the coach in the dick and then in the face, killing him. The kills in this movie are fucking insane in the best way possible. And it all ends with them at a fucking truck stop diner with the goddamn trucks trying to kill them all. And Emilio is just there, kind of being the same type of guy that he is in Repo Man in a way. Kind of the same type of dude, just trying to get the fuck out of this situation with the rest of them, not knowing what the hell is
I'll
going
be right
on.
back.
And just like, I don't know what the fuck Stephen King was thinking with this, but I'm so happy he fucking did it because god damn, this movie is wild. And I can never stop watching this movie.
I also love that the soda machine can like change trajectory. That's a thing that happens. Because that's how soda machines work.
I have not seen this.
Oh, it's an adventure.
Why don't you talk
really
about
is.
it, Phil?
I don't know what the hell everyone was thinking by letting this man do this, but oh my God. I think doesn't a kid get run over with like a fucking cement roller
Yes.
in one scene?
And he just is like laying on the floor.
He could easily roll out of the way, but he doesn't. Yeah. It's like that scene. It was a Prometheus where I'm like, just go to the fucking left, and you will be fine. You fucking jerk off. Giancarlo Stanton getting murdered by an arcade. Oh God. The diner waitress. Why she didn't get any kind of Oscar nom? It's beyond me. Because the delivery of the "We made you" line over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Flawless. I also love the preacher who tries to murder the kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you got to have that. Oh, this movie's insane. It's batshit nuts. Now that's a fun movie.
Nazario.
I don't think I've ever seen the whole movie. I have seen clips of it. And I mean, it's Stephen King directing Stephen King, so I'm not sure I want to watch the whole thing.
Also, whole soundtrack AC/DC.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that I know.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, who's Nazario, Bill? Either of you got another pick?
I could do one.
I mean, I could do one too. I'll Rochambeau you for it.
What the fuck is that?
Have fun with that Google search later. You
You know what? You go. You're the
Me?
servant. Yes.
Okay. Now, this is the movie I'm going to talk about, bar none. One of the most incompetent things I've ever seen in my life. I don't think I've ever seen anything fail on a level that this did as a film. In fact, if you were to just watch it on its own, it is unwatchable. Period. I was lucky to get a version where, if you don't know what Riff Tracks is, it's just one of the best things ever. It's basically some of the guys from Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah.
The Riff Tracks version of Birdemic is fucking pure comedy gold. Start to finish. I don't think I've laughed that hard in my life about anything that was not supposed to be a comedy. Because this movie is it's not even legally a movie. I'm pretty sure it's evidence in a trial. Like someone has probably died. And this is just like, there's no way Sony was like, this is how you do that. I think this movie was made for like tens of dollars.
Tens of cents.
It had to be. Yeah, no, it's, although if you hear stories from how this movie got made from, who is it? What's the girl's name in the movie? Whitney something. Hold on, because she goes on about this and it's fucking hilarious. But yeah, this is like supposed to be the Birds. It is not the Birds. It is fucking and it's somehow got a sequel, which I still just can't bring myself to see. But it's fun. Whitney Moore, that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, this was clearly they didn't know what they were doing at any point in time. Like I've never heard sound in a movie skip. Or just if you would like what it's like to go to work in your drive to the office in real time, it happens 2 or 3 times in this film. Just like long driving montages where nothing is happening. The birds look like the flying toasters from like the old GIF. Like that's about as real as they get. And Jesus Christ, it's so bad. But watching this on Riff Tracks is just the greatest thing that's ever happened. It pretty much justifies their existence. I can't recommend this enough. Yeah.
I know that I've seen it, but it's been a while. So
it's free on their YouTube channel. You can watch this with their commentary right now.
Perfect.
Thank
Mike.
you.
I have not seen the Riff Track version, but recently we just did this as a double feature with the Greasy Strangler and Birdemic, and it was the greatest time ever watching it on call with a couple people. It's so fucking insane.
Nazario.
The birds float. Like they don't even
like they hover.
There are scenes.
They're hovering.
They don't even flap their wings. They're like this, and superimposed cheaply on the scenery. And you have the actors who they gave coat hangers to. Thank you, Cody. And they give coat hangers to the actors, and they just like swing at nothing, swing it, and then they put the copy paste scene of the GIF of the birds doing this. And the birds are not attacking. They're not.
They could gingerly walk away.
Yes, they keep doing this. And then they actually have scenes where the camera has to like move. Like they get in the car, it goes reverse this, and the camera moves. You know what doesn't move? The birds. The position, since they are just superimposed on the take, it just looks like it's been dragged. Like they are shifting sideways when the camera goes sideways and they are shifting back and forth, but they are static. It's something to behold.
My favorite part is where, like, okay, the birds have attacked, society is collapsing, and they're getting into fights while traffic is happening normally on the highway behind them. Like, because, like, although the scene you were just talking about, my favorite part is because they're talking over top of that, and it's just like them whipping around at nothing, birds are hovering, and you just hear the voiceover guys going, so we're going to make this look good in post, right? And the other guy's like, what are you talking about? What the hell's post? Just keep flipping your arms around. It's fine.
You know, that reminds me, in 2020, when we were in lockdown, like you can see from my bedroom, you can see out the window, and the streets were mostly empty. And I just like, I'm telling my kid, I'm going to do a TikTok with you where you say like, oh, there's no one, it's over or whatever, like at the end of the world thing. And we did it. And I was so like, yeah, I'm proud, and I uploaded and everything. I didn't realize that like way in the background, there were like 20 cars driving in another street. Like everything is supposed to be like a post-apocalyptic thing, and they're like 20 cars just driving traffic regularly. So, something like Pandemic.
Fair enough.
Oh, this movie's garbage.
All right. Well, that's the list, guys. So everything that we talked about tonight, all the movies we talked about, you can look over on our Letterboxd at Multiplex. Logged it. Give us a follow. Check out the movies that we talked about tonight. Last thing we got to do is talk about the movie of the month. Did anybody get a chance to has anybody been on this month to talk about Assault on?
I was on earlier in the month, so
Okay.
I did talk about this movie.
Mike and Nazario, did you guys get a chance to watch this?
Yes.
All right. So Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, it's such a fucking fantastic John Carpenter movie. It's so fucking dark and gritty. Making the choice, 15 minutes of the movie, to kill a child. You just go, yeah, we're going there. Like right away, he's going, this is what we're doing here. And no one is safe at that point. And all the shit, a lot of like the way it's shot and everything reminds me a lot of the Warriors scenes when they're walking around with the gangs. And so because the shootings, everything like that, using silencers, the entire fucking police station being shot to death, and that one scene where they just have to duck, well, it just goes on for like at least 3 minutes of just nonstop shooting. It's just so great, man. It's one of my favorite John Carpenter movies. It doesn't get talked about enough. It is a great first theatrical release of John Carpenter going out like he does.
What would you give it out of 5, Mike?
Oh, 5 out of 5. It's a great fucking movie.
Okay. Nazario.
I saw this today, and I actually was quite surprised from it, which I don't understand why, because it's John Carpenter. So it's as soon as I knew it, like, it's John Carpenter from the 70s. It's going to be 90 minutes, and it's going to be gold. Fucking gold. The score of this movie is fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole setup is just so efficient. Like, there are 3 things moving at the same time, and they're going to collide. You just don't know when or how they're going to happen, and they just happen. The scene where they killed the kid just fucking, like, woke me the fuck up. Like, I was like, oh,
He
shit.
messaged me after.
They shot the kid. I messaged him, like, they shot a fucking girl. She just wanted fucking ice cream. and yeah, like, I don't know. There's a feeling, like a textual feeling you can get in this movie. I call it kind of a grungy. Like, this movie is not refined. This movie is rough around the edges. The acting is not perfect, yet it is very, very good. It reminds me kind of the same style he used for like Halloween or Escape from New York, but at the same time also reminds me a lot of Romero's movies, Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. Like, these people in these intense situations in like few locations, but never a dull moment. It's just like, how are they gonna get out of here? How are they gonna get from this place to that place? And it doesn't feel like 90 minutes. Honestly, it feels longer to me in a good way. Like, because sometimes they say good movies cannot be long enough and bad movies can be short enough. Like, this movie could have gone on for another 30 minutes and it would have been great. I really liked it. 4.5.
4.5.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So we have one more week of talking about Assault on Precinct 13. Next week, we're going to talk about it when we talk about best actors, actresses working today. Sometime this week, I'll make a post on the Facebook page with the topics for next month for September, as well as have a poll for the movie of the month. We're going to be in the 60s. So the movie
Night of the Living Dead.
Well, it might be on there. We'll see. So thank you to Mike. Thank you to Bill. Thank you to Nazario. Nazario, is there anything you want to say before you go that might, somebody might agree with one last time? This is your last chance.
Boxed it is better than locked it.
God
There you go.
damn.
I mean, it is what it is, people. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week with best actors, actresses working today. Thank you to this panel. We'll see you real soon. Have a great night.
In case I don't see you. Good afternoon, good evening, good